At exactly 0317 hours on May 4th, 2026, the Persian Gulf turned into the most contested 21 nautical miles on the surface of the Earth. 14 merchant vessels, tankers, bulk carriers, and LNG ships trapped in the Gulf for 61 days by Iran's illegal blockade were finally moving. Project Freedom had begun. U.S. Central Command had committed over 15,000 service members, 100 aircraft, and a guided missile destroyer screen to escort the first commercial convoy through the Strait of Hormuz since Iran slammed it shut on March 4th. The convoy's lead escort, the USS Thomas Hudner, an Arleigh Burke-class Flight 3 destroyer, cut through 31-degree water at 24 knots, her SPY-6 ASA radar spinning at full power, painting every contact within 250 nautical miles. The Tactical Operations Center, a cathedral of glowing screens and humming processors, showed 47 surface contacts, 12 subsurface anomalies flagged by passive sonar buoys, and a cluttered electronic emissions environment that the signals intelligence operators hadn't seen since the South China Sea exercises of 2024. Everything looked controlled. That was the trap. 0319 hours. The AIS transponder signal from an Iranian-flagged fishing dhow, hull ID IRGC-DAO-114, stationary for 6 hours off Keshem Island, went dark. Simultaneously, 9 additional small craft contacts previously classified as fishing traffic pivoted onto intercept headings at 38 knots. The SPY-6 radar immediately flagged the formation geometry, a classic IRGC Wolfpack doctrine maneuver, concentric closing rings designed to saturate point defense weapons before any single target can be engaged. Lieutenant Commander Arash Protocol aboard the CIC immediately transmitted, Vampire, 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 multiple fast inbound bearing 035, range 14 nautical miles.
3:22 hours. Iran activated what U.S. SIGINT analysts had quietly designated Operation Dead Channel. From a mobile electronic warfare node concealed inside a civilian cargo container complex on the Keshem Island coast, the IRGC's Command 22 broadband jamming system, a domestically produced high-power barrage jammer operating across the S, C, and X radar bands, erupted at full output. Within 4.3 seconds, it generated 847 false radar returns across the SPY-6 display, flooding the fire control computer with ghost contacts indistinguishable from real fast attack craft at close range. At the same time, a second jammer, positioned on a semi-submerged IRGC logistics barge 9 nautical miles southwest, attacked the Link 16 tactical data network, inserting corrupt positional data packets that caused the shared air picture between the USS Thomas Hudner and her supporting MH-60R Seahawk helicopters to desynchronize. For 41 critical seconds, the most advanced destroyer in the US Navy was tactically blind. The IRGC had rehearsed this moment for 2 years. 3:22 hours. What the jammer could not suppress was the Mark I eyeball. The forward lookout on the Thomas Hudner's bridge wing, Petty Officer 2nd Class Marcus Delano, called it raw. Bridge, forward lookout, I have fast movers, visual, bearing 030. I count at least 30, maybe more. They are low, they are fast, and they are splitting into 2 groups. 30 fast attack craft, IRGC Siraj class and Zulfiqar class speedboats, each displacing under 25 tons, each capable of 50 knots, each armed with C-802 anti-ship cruise missiles or 107mm unguided rockets, weapons that individually might scratch paint on a destroyer, but in a saturating salvo of 30 simultaneous launches could overwhelm any point defense system on Earth. This was Iran's Mosquito Fleet doctrine made kinetic, the same asymmetric naval strategy Iranian war planners had refined since the 1988 tanker war, updated for 2026 with GPS-guided munitions, encrypted mesh communication nets, and lessons learned from watching every CIWS engagement video ever leaked online. The USS Thomas Hudner's captain, Commander Elena Vasquez, had 90 seconds to prevent the convoy from becoming a graveyard.
0323 hours. Commander Vasquez made 4 decisions in under 8 seconds. First, EMCON Alpha, total emission silence on all non-essential systems to deny the IRGC targeting solutions. Second, full ahead flank, 31 knots, hard starboard, placing the destroyer's beam toward the threat to maximize the CIWS engagement arc. Third, deploy SRBOC Mark 36 decoy rockets, a wall of chaff blooming silver across the thermal imaging frequency used by C-802 seekers. Fourth, and most critical, she patched directly to the E-2D Hawkeye airborne early warning aircraft orbiting at altitude 30 miles north over the Persian Gulf. Highlander, Sabre Actual, I need Growlers on station, full spectrum, now. Authorization Tango Sierra 7. We are being jammed and swarmed simultaneously. The response came in 11 seconds. Sabre, Highlander, 2 Growlers are wheels up from Gerald Ford in 4 minutes. Stand by. 4 minutes. In 4 minutes, the swarm would be within C-802 launch range. In 4 minutes, 14 merchant vessels, 186,000 tons of civilian hulls carrying 212 international seafarers would be naked in the center of an IRGC killbox. 0324 hours. The first IRGC volley launched. Not C-802s, not yet. Instead, the lead Serge-class boats fired 107mm IRGC-modified unguided rockets, a deliberate choice. Their purpose was not destruction. Their purpose was to trigger the USS Thomas Hudner CIWS into continuous firing mode, burning through its 1,550-round magazine before the real anti-ship missiles arrived. The Phalanx mount roared, a sound like tearing canvas amplified to industrial scale, 4,500 rounds per minute of 20mm tungsten slamming into incoming rockets at
0325 hours. 2 EA-18G Growler aircraft from Electronic Attack Squadron 134 entered the operational area at 25,000 feet, traveling at Mach 0.9. Each Growler carried the AN/ALQ-249 next-generation jammer, a podded active electronically scanned array transmitter capable of simultaneously attacking multiple radar and communications frequencies across the electromagnetic spectrum. Combined with the AN/ALQ-218V2 tactical jamming receiver, the 2-aircraft team represented the most capable airborne electronic warfare package in existence. The lead Growler's electronic countermeasures officer, callsign Viper 11, identified the Keesham Island Command 22 emitter in 6 seconds using SIGINT triangulation. The jamming pod locked. A 14-second focused wideband transmission erased the IRGC jammer's output entirely. The Spy-6 radar aboard USS Thomas Hudner cleared. Ghost contacts vanished. The real tactical picture snapped into focus. 31 fast attack craft, bearing down in 2 rings. Simultaneously, the second Growler executed a high-power microwave sweep, an experimental HPM pod recently cleared for combat deployment, targeting the RF guidance systems of the IRGC swarm's encrypted mesh communication net. In a 12-nautical-mile radius, every handheld Motorola encryption unit aboard IRGC speedboats experienced simultaneous power failures. The swarm command structure, designed for distributed coordination, suddenly had no coordinator. The outer ring of 18 boats slowed, then scattered. The inner ring of 13 boats, already committed at high speed, kept coming. 0326 hours. Commander Vasquez called the shot. Weapons free. All batteries. Engage. The USS Thomas Hudner's VLS Mark 41 launcher split the air. 2 RIM 162 ESSM Block 2 surface-to-air missiles streaked low over the water, not targeting aircraft, but using their terminal seeker mode to track surface fast attack contacts at close range. The tactic was unorthodox. It was also devastatingly effective. Both missiles found IRGC
3:33 hours. Beneath the surface, the Fateh-class submarine fired. Torpedo 1, UT-27, active seeker, targeting the MV Minerva Libra, a Greek-flagged LNG carrier at the Convoy center. The P-8A Poseidon had, in the preceding 90 seconds, re-established its data link after the Growlers cleared the jamming. Its MAD operator had the Fateh's position to within 200 meters. The moment the torpedo fired, its seeker ping gave away the exact launch bearing. The Poseidon responded without orders, standard sub-hunting doctrine. An Mk-54 Mod 3 lightweight torpedo dropped from 400 feet, hit the water running, and entered active search. The Fateh-class captain had 43 seconds. He used 38 of them to go deep, blow ballast, and execute a hard evasion turn. He used the remaining 5 trying to reload Tube 3. The Mk-54 found the Fateh at 110 meters depth, detonating against the forward torpedo room. The explosion was not immediately fatal. Fateh-class hulls are pressure reinforced, but it flooded the forward compartment, destroyed the remaining torpedo tubes, and drove the submarine into a steep, involuntary descent toward crush depth. The crew spent the next 11 minutes fighting to save the boat, 4 minutes of which they spent entirely below the survivable depth rating. They survived. Barely. On emergency ballast alone, the Fateh broached the surface 6 nautical miles southeast of Kesham Island, dead in the water, black smoke pouring from its emergency ventilation ports. An IRGC rescue vessel was dispatched. U.S. naval forces let it come. The war crimes calculus of killing survivors was not a decision any American commander wanted to own. 3:31 hours. The outer swarm ring attempted to regroup. It was too late. 2 Fa-18E Super Hornets.
447 hours. The convoy moved. 14 merchant vessels, escort formation intact, transited the Strait of Hormuz at 12 knots at 12 knots. The USS Thomas Hudner led, her hull streaked with salt spray and fire suppression foam from the forward rocket impacts. Cosmetic damage, operationally negligible. Her crew stood deck watches in full battle gear, watching the black Iranian coastline pass 4 miles to starboard. Not one civilian vessel was struck. Not one seafarer on the merchant ships was wounded. Operation Project Freedom's first convoy had broken through. But the Strait of Hormuz was not clear. As the convoy entered the Gulf of Oman and the immediate tactical crisis dissolved, CENTCOM intelligence analysts in Tampa, Florida were looking at a different picture. Satellite imagery from a KH-14 reconnaissance pass completed at 4:10 hours showed fresh mine-laying activity along the convoy's return route, 8 nautical miles northeast of the previous transit lane. Iran had learned from the engagement. Within 38 minutes of the swarm's defeat, IRGC engineers were repositioning their next denial layer. The USS Thomas Hudner had won the battle. The Strait of Hormuz.
What do you think? Can the U.S. Navy sustain this tempo? Comment 1 if you believe Project Freedom succeeds. Comment 2 if Iran's mine warfare ultimately closes the strait again. The oceans have changed. The rules have changed. And the next 30 days in the Strait of Hormuz may determine the economic fate of the entire world.